the heels of a very shocking Survivor Series. I know that many people that saw the cheat sheets knowing that Sting was coming. I didn't look at the cheat sheets. I didn't know one damn bit he was coming. And that made the show much more enjoyable for me. Anyone else that loves to go that deep into the business, more power to you. But for me personally, I didn't want to go that far. I learned that a long time ago. If I go too far into something, I'll lose interest in it. And finding that Sting finally showed up on WWE, and I knew he was there, but I didn't know he was going to go with that show, was such a wonderful, refreshing feeling. Sting felt new to me. And it made me very interested in this show. I was hoping we'd get something hit out of the park. I was hoping it would give a great build going into TLC. I didn't get that. When you look at the end of the show, when you saw J&J Securities voted 93% on the app, I felt 93% exhausted. Because that's how I felt about this show. It tired me out. And that wasn't a good thing. The beginning of the show was what killed me. 27-minute promo segment. You thought Survivor Series was bad, feeling like a promo from Raw. This was 100% that, and another 500 on top of that. Mind you, I understand why they did. They wanted to give Triple H and Stephanie time. They wanted to give Daniel Bryan time. But there was too much. Stephanie and Triple H sucked the wind out of the entire thing. And I know the crowd loved it. And I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed it. But for me, getting something that lengthy was too much. Not that I'm a very easy guy to fall asleep. But I was exhausted by the end of it. It was too long. 27 fucking minutes almost. And I'm not going to take anything away from Triple H. He didn't sound bad at all. Stephanie wasn't too bad. Wearing that black tight dress always kind of helps me to look and see how sexy she is. That she has a brain. She knows how to talk to a certain extent. But it was too long. Daniel Bryan was wonderful to see. Seeing, yes, yes chance. But then he goes into a 16-minute promo segment, giving people an ultimatum that he is the new temporary general manager for that night, taking out Mark Henry, taking him to task mainly, which I got something to say about when this is done. Eric Rowan, Rusev, everybody took to task. It was too long. It just exhausted me. I didn't like it. Mind you, it worked for the crowd. The crowd did enjoy it. And to a certain extent, they were able to handle it. But I wasn't. Now, when it came to Mark Henry versus Ryback, and I got a couple of things to talk about Ryback and Kane. But in the end, when you look at Mark Henry, a guy who had huge momentum dealing with a Rusev, that they could have done something really good with him, particularly dealing with a Bo Dallas. They dropped the feud terribly with Rusev, and then they dropped the feud terribly with Bo Dallas. I was hoping to do something interesting with him, but as I said in several of my videos before, I feel like they're just going to fuck him over. And that's how I feel right here. It was bad enough he got knocked out last night, the night before. But when it comes to this, getting his ass handed to him by a Ryback the way he did, and Ryback's build was not great on the 5-on-5 traditional elimination Survivor Series match. It wasn't. I didn't talk about it because I didn't want to. It should have been not done at all. You could have put Cesaro in that spot, as I said, with Eric Rowan. You could have put Cesaro there. If you had to have Eric Rowan there, you could have put Cesaro in Ryback's spot because it really brought him down. And this match, which wasn't a bad one, going forward throughout the night, Ryback just felt empty. Because when it came down to it, there wasn't a proper build for him. He was being built so well before Survivor Series. And now it feels like he's dropped flat. And he hasn't really changed his attitude enough. He still acts like the big guy between him and Curtis Axel. He needs to drop the big guy moniker. They keep saying they want to make him the big guy. They want to make him the strength of Raw. But he needs to drop the big guy thing and go back to the feed me more and just stick with that, because this isn't working for me. And when you look at Kane, and I'm going straight to Kane, seeing Kane in the back serving food wasn't that really interesting, because Kane really hasn't been very interesting at all. Seeing him squirt food in Ryback's face makes me think they're going to have a feud now, which is understandable because they need to do something with Ryback. I really believe Ryback is going to have a feud with Kane. I don't know if it's going to be good, particularly that Ryback's character is so bad right now. I'm hoping maybe he'll understand, or someone's going to say, Ryback, dude, we love you doing Feed Me More, but let go of the big guy chance. I know we're already building up into it, but you need to drop it back a little bit. You're doing it too much. That's just me personally, but you guys tell me if you like him being the big guy. And still saying, stupid, stupid. I don't like that. Now, the next match that I felt wasn't too bad, but it still is on the heels of what happened the night before. Well, this is 2 nights before, actually. Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper. Luke has had barely any build. And it shows here. Because the crowd was already tired by the time, at least from what I could tell, from the long 27-minute promo segment and the match between Henry and Ryback. By the time this happened, most of this team had been lost. So, even though they did a good match, for me personally, the build for Eric Rowan is the same as the build for Luke Harper. Almost non-existent, and it just didn't feel like there was something there. And you could see that at the end of the entire match, because when you look at how Dean Ambrose lost, was not too much of a problem. He can actually go after the IC title again. But when you see how Luke Harper basically disappeared once Bray Wyatt appeared, you would think, well, of course he had to disappear because it's all about Bray Wyatt. But actuality, I think it would have been better if Luke Harper had faced Bray Wyatt face to face. Hey, those two have not spoken to each other since their last bit of work together. And at least he could look at him and say, like a nod saying, I'm proud of you. For me personally, I think he needed that. Because he really needed something extra and he just didn't get it. And now I'm talking about Eric Rowan. We look at the Big Show. Thank you, WWE, that not having, well, at least as far as I can tell, John Cena versus the Big Show. But it kind of makes no sense having Eric Rowan going after the Big Show. Now, Big Show did explain himself. I will give him that. And it was done well enough that for casual people would understand. But Eric Rowan coming out and saying, I don't like bullies, and start beating on the Big Show just didn't really have any strength. I think the writers had no clue what to do with Eric Rowan. Really. His music does make some sense though. I do like the music for him. It does seem to make sense for the moment. But really, going into this, it feels like it made no sense for him to be bothering Big Show. Really. If he had said, I don't like traitors, I would understand that because of what happened with Daniel Bryan last year. But here, it just didn't work. Mind you, they could still have a decent feud, but just, I don't know. Another thing that I didn't care about. Fandango versus Justin Gabriel. Mind you, seeing Rosa Mendes in the position she's in, I believe is better for her. Until she figures out what she needs to do to become a better wrestler and get back into it, if she ever was a good wrestler in the beginning, I believe she might have been at one point, she just isn't good in the ring. So it's better to make her a manager slash partner to somebody, and Fandango actually fits her mold pretty damn well. Only thing I have a problem with, and it's not that Fandango bringing the 2 nights ago, the Flamingo leg drop back and this case, he just clotheslines Justin Gabriel and knocks him out. It's his entrance. Because the way they have that, if they're not careful, they are going to so fucking clunk heads so hard, it's going to be ugly. If Rosa's not in the right spot, and if Fandango's not in the right spot, those two are definitely going to clunk heads badly. It's going to happen. I really hope it doesn't happen, but it's going to happen. And if no one likes how Fandango and Rosa Mendes are looking together and their work together, tell me the reason why. Because seriously, I believe that this is a good fit for them for the moment, counting if they continue getting pushed. Now, AJ versus Brie. I said this, and I'm going to repeat it. Why? WWE. I said this, I'm going to say it again. You build for 4 to 5, near 6 months, 2 women who are relatives, who you believe could actually do an interesting feud because of your Total Divas show. You decide to give them a prominent storyline, actually let them close the show a couple of times. And now you do this. At the end, where it looks like you're setting up for them to have a Bella versus Bella match at TLC, you drop the fucking thing and you go back to standard you had them 3 years ago. The evil Bellas doing twin fucking magic with the fucking belt. I'm sorry. It's stupid. This was done 3 years ago until they went away for a while and then came back. And then slowly they changed into faces. Was it great? No, but at least it was something different. We've gone right back to square one with these 2 women. And no matter if you love them or not, you have to admit this is wrong. This sucks, and they both suck for one reason and one reason only. It's because they had a storyline that no matter if you liked it or not, made sense, and a build going into it made sense. And now they fucking dropped it and made it look stupid. No matter if you believe they have a excuse me, ability or not, they deserve better than this. And I'm not Bella fans, but they deserve better than this. This was stupid. Now, Adam Rose and the Bunny versus Tyson Kidd and Natalya. Again, we had a dark match with those guys in Survivor Series to prominently feature the Bunny. The Bunny. I agree with the Sleg Daddy. You could have put Cesaro and Jack Swagger on the show. You could have easily switched these two and there would have been no problem. Why not give Cesaro a pay-per-view match? Why? This is stupid. And I may actually do a debate of the week on him. Because this is getting dumb. I'm saying it right now. But when you see this, you wonder why they're continuing this. This sucks. This feud sucks. The Bunny sucks. Adam Rose now sucks. When they had something good with him, this just sucks. Moving on. Oh, I had to get that out. The segment I did enjoy. The Rusev segment. Oh, I did enjoy that. Rusev being told by Daniel Bryan, unless you do one of 2 things, your ass is made. Either you have a battle royal for your U.S. championship, or you do the Pledge of Allegiance in the ring. He didn't want the battle royal, so he does it in the ring. And they call the Sergeant Slaughter. We love the Sergeant Slaughter. I remember the man. I remember him with that big ass chin. And he's going, "What are you doing, you maggots?" And I remember on G.I. Joe as well. He was tougher on G.I. Joe than he was in the ring. I actually like that. I'm sorry, I'm a G.I. Joe 80s fan. Not the G.I. Joe throughout the years. But I felt Sergeant Slaughter did a good job. I felt Rusev did very good. I liked how Lana was so reluctant to do it. And she looks so damn cute. Why can't I have a girlfriend like that? Ladies, if you like Lana, hi. But you get my point. I actually enjoyed this segment. But there was one problem with it. But I understand the reason why they did it. And I'm sure you know what it is. The trucker Jack Swagger comes out with Zed Coulter. Now, I understand why they did it on the pre-show, setting this up. But do I agree with it? No. Because we already had this feud with him and Jack Swagger. And the problem here is that they don't have anything for Rusev to do now. Who are they going to put Rusev up with? So they decide to throw Rusev back at Jack Swagger because they don't know who to have him deal with. Maybe until TLC, maybe he'll have a match. But honestly, I feel it's a letdown for Rusev. I really do. Now I have one more last thing to talk about before the final match of the night. And that is the New Day. And I gotta say it again. I'm gonna have to preach here, baby. I gotta preach for you, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that Kofi Kingston, that Xavier Woods, and the Biggie Langston have done their segments, and now they're going to be shown on the Raw next week. We're going to have a New Day. We're going to have our people in the background dancing and singing New Day. Do you actually want to see that? What I just did, do you actually want to see that, ladies and gentlemen? If this works, I'm 100% happy. But do I believe that WWE is going to do this properly? Hell no. This is not going to work. They had one chance 4 or 5 months ago. They had one chance with Kofi, Woods, and Biggie. They had one chance when they actually did something totally different. When Xavier Woods came down to the ring and he literally was standing next to them and said, "This has to stop. We need better. We deserve better." If he had done it then, if they had pulled the trigger then, this would work 100%. The people was behind it. It was so different. Look what happened with TNA. When they did it, it worked. People loved seeing the Lashley, the King, and the MVP. This could have worked. And they would have done it before them. But now they decide to do it. I mean, I believe it's going to fall flat in his face. And I really hope I'm wrong. You guys tell me below, do you want to see this work or not? Finally, we had to come to this. The WWE app was in full effect. And we had a choice for the tag team match. Well, the handicap match. 2 on 3. I'm sorry. You got Luke with Henry, Kane with Henry, or the Jobber Twins, Chain J Security, Jamie Noble and Jimmy Mercury. I had no problem with this. The 93%. At the end of the show, I was pretty burnt out because of what happened at the beginning of the show. But seeing these guys go in the ring, it's been almost 10 years for them. They have not been in the ring in a long time. Eminem has not been around. And JB Noble had not been around with Lydia for a while. Yeah, I do remember them. It has not been seen in a while. But when you saw them in the ring in the very beginning, they were funny. And I think this really helped the match, at least in the beginning. But by the end of it, I really didn't care that much. Seeing a double pin makes me think they're really trying to get Dolph over with John Cena. Kind of like what they did with the Usos. As much as you may want to say the Usos, look where they are now. Yes, the Usos, they are down in the dirt. And they had no personality. But let's be honest. When they associated themselves with John Cena, going like that, please. Actually, they were doing that. But they got the championship belts, and they got over pretty well with the crowd until their personality sucked. But in the end, that's what we got in this show. To me, it was 93% exhausting. Tiring. I don't care what you call it. Exhausting, tiring. I was wiped out. But in the end, only maybe 1 or 2 things I liked. So I don't believe the WWE did a very good job hitting it out of the park. You guys tell me below what I was missing, because I want to really see something good. Because we didn't get Sting, and we definitely didn't get Bad News Barrett. And that pisses me off. So I hope you enjoyed this debate of the week. Well, I'm saying debate of the week. I am thinking about debate of the week. I hope you enjoyed this Raw review. Please give me a comment below. I am going to be working on my next debate of the week. I believe it will be on Cesaro again. I think I did one on Cesaro before. I might do it again because of what just happened. You guys have a good day and have a good night. Peace!